Aaron walked with slow, heavy steps as the alien guards led him down the long metallic hallway. His wrists were trapped inside glowing shackles that hummed softly every time he moved. He tried not to look nervous, but his heart pushed hard against his chest. The air inside the palace felt cold, almost too clean, as if nothing human had ever touched it. Bright silver lights lined the ceiling and reflected off polished walls. Everywhere Aaron looked, he saw signs of an empire far older and far more advanced than anything humans had built. He kept his head forward and focused on breathing slowly. He knew panic would only make the guards more suspicious. 2 guards walked in front of him and 2 behind him. All 4 were tall Javari soldiers with armor made of dark crystal plates that shifted colors when they moved. Their helmets covered their faces, so Aaron could not tell if they hated him or simply did not care about him. To them, he was just a suspect, a possible enemy, or maybe something worse. Aaron did not speak because he understood silence kept things safer. The guards were strict, and even a simple question could be taken as disrespect. They reached a giant door taller than any human-built structure Aaron had seen. The soldiers placed their palms on glowing circles. A deep rumble echoed through the hall as the door began to open. Aaron felt a cold breeze wash over him. When the door fully opened, he stepped into the grand hall of the Javari Palace. The hall was enormous, wider than a stadium, and shaped like an ancient temple. Tall pillars carved with old symbols lined the sides. Banners hung from the ceiling, each one showing the crest of the Javari Empire. A curved star wrapped in silver wings. Blue flames floated in bowls of crystal, lighting the hall with a soft, mysterious glow. Hundreds of armored Javari warriors stood on both sides, arranged in strict rows. Their eyes followed Aaron as he entered, and he could feel their suspicion like a weight pressing on his shoulders. He kept his expression calm, though he felt small under so many glaring eyes. He knew the Javari respected strength, so he tried to walk with steady steps, not letting fear show. The guards stopped when they reached the center of the hall. Aaron stood alone in the light while the warriors whispered among themselves. They were clearly confused about why a human prisoner had been brought to their queen. No human had stood in this hall in many years. Aaron kept his gaze low. He did not want to offend anyone by staring, but he could sense the tension rising all around him. The warriors wanted answers. Aaron wanted answers too, but he knew he would not get them until he met the queen. Then everything became still. A soft sound echoed from the far end of the hall. A door behind the throne opened, and gentle blue light spread across the floor. Everyone except Aaron dropped to one knee with their heads bowed. Aaron lowered his head too, even though he did not know the exact protocol. He simply mirrored the guards so he wouldn't appear disrespectful. The queen had entered. She walked with quiet steps that somehow felt stronger than thunder. Her royal robe flowed behind her like moving silver waves. The crown she wore was shaped like curved wings, glowing with soft purple energy. Aaron did not look up, but he could feel her presence, sharp and commanding, as if the air bent around her. The queen, Saravina, climbed the steps toward her throne. She always moved with grace and calm. Every warrior in the hall respected her deeply. She rarely showed emotion, rarely reacted strongly to anything. She was known to be steady like stone, unreadable like the deep stars. But today something unusual happened. As Saravina sat on her throne, a faint sound, just a simple breath from Aaron, pulled her attention. It was not loud, it was not special, but something about it made her pause. Her eyes narrowed. She listened again as Aaron shifted slightly, the shackles making a soft hum. Her heart suddenly thumped. She knew that sound, the way a human voice moves when someone tries to breathe calmly, but carries hidden worry beneath it. It was a sound she had heard once in her youth, long before she became queen. At first, she thought she had imagined it, but then Aaron exhaled slowly again, and that was enough. Before anyone understood what was happening, Queen Saravina rose from her throne. The hall froze. The warriors looked at one another in pure shock. Saravina never stood for prisoners. She never showed surprise. She never reacted so personally to anyone. But she was standing now, with her eyes locked on the human in shackles. Aaron felt the movement and instinctively looked up. For a moment, everything around him disappeared. The hall, the guards, the bright flames, all of it faded as his eyes met the queen's. He did not recognize her at first. She looked regal, powerful, far more mature than the young alien woman he once helped long ago. But there was something familiar in her eyes, something soft, buried beneath years of strength. Saravina stepped down from her throne slowly, each step echoing through the silent hall. The guards looked confused, unsure if they should stop her or follow her. Aaron did not move. He felt a strange mix of disbelief and memory rising inside him. He had seen those eyes before, though they were smaller, brighter, and frightened the last time. Saravina's voice trembled quietly as she said, "Aaron." The hall gasped. How did the queen know his name? Why did she speak it with such softness? The warriors stared at her in confusion. Aaron felt his breath stop for a moment. He had not expected this meeting to turn into something personal. He wondered if she truly remembered him, or if this was some kind of strategy he did not understand. Aaron took a slow breath and lifted his head more. His voice was gentle, unsure when he spoke. "Your Majesty?" Saravina froze for a moment. The exact tone of his voice hit her like a memory returning from a dark corner. She remembered the dangerous night years ago. She remembered being chased. She remembered falling. And she remembered a human man reaching out to help her. He had told her to run. He had told her not to look back. His voice had stayed in her mind ever since. It had been him. The guards shifted uneasily. One commander, tall and strict, stepped forward and cleared his throat. "Your Majesty," he began, "this human is a suspect. He was captured near the border attack zone. We believe he may be involved. He must be judged immediately." Saravina did not take her eyes off Aaron. Her calm expression changed into something firm, protective, almost fierce. The commander hesitated, surprised by the look on her face. "No one touches him," she said quietly. The hall trembled with shock. The commander blinked. "Your Majesty, this is highly unusual." "Remove his shackles," Saravina ordered. A guard swallowed hard but approached Aaron. His hands shook slightly. No one wanted to anger the queen. Aaron stayed still, allowing the guard to remove the glowing restraints. When the cuffs clicked open and fell silent, Aaron rubbed his wrists gently. He did not know whether he should bow or speak or simply stand. Everything felt unreal. Saravina stepped closer until she stood just a few steps away from him. Up close, Aaron could see the change in her face, wisdom, age, strength. But he could also see a flash of the frightened young girl she once was. She breathed softly as she studied him. Her voice dropped to a whisper only he could hear. "I knew I would hear your voice again, but I did not believe the day would actually come." Aaron felt the weight of her words sink into him. A memory flashed in his mind. A small cave, a burning sky, a young alien girl hiding behind him as he tried to protect her. He had never known her name. He had never known she survived. He had never known she became queen. He felt a lump rise in his throat but kept his voice steady. "I didn't know you became someone so important." Her eyes softened. Before either of them could say more, murmurs filled the hall. Confusion spread. Some warriors stepped back. Others tried to understand what kind of history existed between a queen and a human stranger. Aaron sensed the tension rising again. Recognition between him and the Queen did not erase the danger he was in. It only made things more complicated. He knew political storms were coming. The Empire might judge him harshly for standing so close to their Queen. Some might even think he was manipulating her. Saravina seemed to know this too. She turned sharply to her council members and guards. "He is not a threat," she said loudly. "He is under my protection." The hall erupted with whispers. Aaron stood quietly, feeling the air shift around him. Some warriors looked surprised. Some looked angry. Others looked curious. The guards who brought him here now stepped back respectfully, no longer treating him like a dangerous prisoner, but like someone of unexpected importance. As Saravina motioned for him to follow her out of the hall, Aaron knew one thing for certain. This meeting was only the beginning of something far larger than he ever expected. Aaron followed Queen Saravina through a quiet hallway that stretched far beyond the main court. The guards who once gripped their weapons tightly now stepped aside respectfully as she passed. Their eyes followed Aaron with confusion, curiosity, and sometimes suspicion. Aaron kept his steps calm even though thousands of questions filled his mind. He did not know why the Queen reacted so strongly to him, nor why she protected him so openly in front of her entire empire. But he knew one thing clearly. Whatever connection they shared, it had just changed the path of his life. They reached a smaller chamber with soft lights and walls made of pale crystal. The entrance closed behind them with a gentle sound. The palace outside felt huge and cold, but this room seemed peaceful. Saravina stood near a wide window that looked over the glowing city. She took a long breath before turning to him. Aaron felt uncertain about standing so close to someone like her. She was a queen, respected and feared by her people. But in this quiet room, she looked almost human, calm, thoughtful, and unexpectedly emotional. Aaron waited for her to speak first. Saravina finally looked into his eyes, and for a moment, neither of them said anything. The silence was not awkward. It felt filled with things neither had found the right words for yet. "You survived," she said softly. Aaron blinked, unsure how to respond. "And you became queen. I never imagined that." Her lips curved slightly, almost like the shadow of a smile. "I never imagined I would see the person who saved my life again." Aaron felt a warm but uneasy feeling fill his chest. He remembered that day clearly, how he found a frightened young alien girl hiding after an attack. He had helped her escape and guided her through dangerous ground until she reached safety. He never asked her name, and she never gave it. Then she disappeared into the shadows, and Aaron moved on with his mission. He had no idea she belonged to the royal family, no idea she would one day rule an empire. "I didn't know who you were," he said. "I didn't know that night would matter this much." "To me, it mattered," she replied quietly. "More than you can understand." Aaron noticed she was choosing her words carefully, as if afraid she might reveal too much. He understood the difficulty. A queen showing personal feeling toward a human could easily become a political issue. Saravina stepped closer. "Why were you near the border attack site? I need to know the truth." Aaron nodded. "I was searching for missing human explorers. Their ship disappeared close to your territory. I thought they might need help." Saravina's expression softened again. "Still helping people even now. That part of you has not changed." "But I had nothing to do with the attack," Aaron said firmly. "I was only there to find my people." "I believe you," she said without hesitation. Those words eased something heavy inside him. But the relief did not last long because Saravina's expression turned serious. "The council does not believe you. They think humans might be involved. And by protecting you, I have already given them a reason to question my judgment." Aaron felt a tightness in his stomach. "I don't want to cause trouble for you." "You are not the cause." she said gently. The cause is fear. Some leaders believe humans will become a threat one day. Saving you today only exposes their old uncertainty. Aaron glanced around the room. Then what happens now? Am I still a prisoner? Saravina shook her head. You are not a prisoner. But you are not free to leave either. Not until we clear your name. He understood. Staying in the palace meant safety, but it also meant he had become part of their internal politics. He wondered if the guards out there already saw him as a danger or an unwanted symbol. Saravina waved her hand, and a panel opened on the wall. A small crystal glowed inside it. She took it and placed it gently in Aaron's hands. This is a communication crystal, she explained. It is linked to me directly. If you ever feel unsafe or need help, speak into it. I will hear you. Aaron stared at the crystal. It was warm and smooth, pulsing with soft purple light. He looked up at her in disbelief. This is something important, he said quietly. You shouldn't give it to someone like me. You saved my life, she replied. I trust you. Her calm honesty made Aaron pause. Trust was rare between their species. Yet here she stood, offering it to him without hesitation. Aaron nodded slowly, accepting the crystal with gratitude. A guard entered and guided Aaron to a guest chamber. Saravina stayed behind, watching him leave with an expression Aaron couldn't fully read. His new chamber was small but comfortable. The bed was shaped like a floating platform, and the walls shimmered with gentle light. Aaron sat down and let everything settle in his mind. He touched the communication crystal lightly and wondered if he deserved such trust. As the hours passed, Aaron sensed strange tension in the palace. When he walked in the hallway, some guards greeted him politely, but others watched him with suspicion. He overheard whispers behind corners. Some said the queen had made a mistake. Others said she was hiding something. Aaron understood the danger. His presence was disrupting everything here. That night, while resting on the hovering bed, Aaron heard a faint buzzing sound. He sat up slowly. Someone was speaking behind the wall. The voices were low, but he listened carefully. He must be removed, one voice said. The queen is letting her emotions control her. Quiet, another voice hissed. If she hears this... She's blinded by whatever happened in her past, the first voice said again. A human should not be allowed near the throne. Aaron's fists tightened. He knew he should step away, but he needed to understand the threat. The voices continued. We will push the council to act. Once they see the danger, they'll force her to hand the human over. And if she refuses, then she risks losing her throne. Aaron felt a cold chill run through him. He had not meant to overhear this, but now he understood the situation more clearly than ever. The threat was not just to him, it was to Saravina as well. He moved back to bed quietly, careful not to make a sound. His mind raced. He did not want to put Saravina at risk, but he could not simply disappear either. He needed to find the truth behind the border attacks. That was the only way to clear his name and protect the queen from dangerous political pressure. The next morning, Saravina sent for him. Aaron followed a guard into a private research hall filled with glowing screens. Maps of star routes hovered in the air, reports scrolled quietly along crystal panels. Saravina approached him with a calm but tired expression. I want to show you something. She pointed to images of the attack sites, burned ground, collapsed structures, strange circular patterns etched into the soil. Aaron moved closer and studied them carefully. These scorch marks, he said slowly. They don't match human weapons. Saravina nodded. I noticed that too. But the council will not listen unless we have stronger proof. Aaron stared at the patterns again. A thought formed in his mind. Let me help you investigate. Let me prove my innocence. Saravina hesitated. The frontier is dangerous, and if something happens to you, the council will blame me. And if we do nothing, Aaron said gently, they'll blame you anyway? Saravena looked at him for a long, quiet moment. Then she nodded. We leave at dawn, she said, but we keep the mission secret. She assigned a trusted guard, Varen, to watch over him. Varen was tall, serious, and seemed unsure about Aaron, but he obeyed the queen without question. The journey to the frontier began the next day. Their ship was small, built for stealth, and moved through space like a silent silver arrow. Aaron looked out the window, watching stars streak past. Saravena stood beside him, her robe softly glowing in the dim cabin lights. During the long travel, they spoke more openly than before. Saravena told him how she became queen after years of training, battles, and political tests. Aaron shared how he became a search and rescue officer, choosing a life where he helped people rather than fought them. They listened to each other with quiet understanding. It felt strange but comforting. When they finally reached the frontier, the truth began to unfold. The land showed signs of destruction that human weapons could never cause. Aaron gathered samples while Varen kept watch. Saravena inspected the evidence closely. Suddenly, strange drones appeared in the sky and attacked. Aaron ducked behind a rock while Varen blocked the first few blasts. Saravena shielded herself with a glowing barrier. Aaron spotted a weak point in the drones and used a broken piece of metal to disable one. It fell to the ground, sparking. When they opened the drone's core, they found a symbol Aran didn't recognize, but Saravena did. Her face became tense. A rogue faction, she whispered. Someone in my own empire wants chaos. Aaron felt the weight of the discovery. His innocence was proven, but this truth placed Saravena in even more danger. They had to return before the rogue faction acted again. On the journey back, Saravena remained silent, thinking deeply. Aaron sat beside her, wondering what awaited them at the palace. He knew the danger was growing. He knew the whispers he had heard were only